Good evening everyone and welcome back to our channel. I am Twinkle Quatra from IME Law College and currently a legal intern at Lexis and Company, and today I am going to talk about maintenance under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. And I have already told in my previous video that what is maintenance and what is the maintenance of wife, widowed daughter-in-law, and also who are dependents, and what is the maintenance of children and parents. So if you haven't seen my video, first see that video, then come to this video, then only you will able to understand properly. So let's just start the remaining section. So I have told you till section 21 at the definition of dependence. Now section 22 says that maintenance of dependent. So its clause 1 says that subject to the provision of subsection 2, the heir of deceased Hindu are bound to maintain the dependents of the deceased out of the estate inherited by them from the deceased. So it says that if someone is not getting the property share from the will, then it is a duty of the remaining dependents that they should provide the property or the share of that dependent to them proportionally. And for example, that if someone has received 50% and someone has received 40%, then 5:4 ratio will be considered, and they will give the share to the dependent who hasn't received the share because of the will or any testamentary. And this is a combination of first, second and third clause. Now fourth clause says that notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 2 or subsection 3, no person who is himself or herself a dependent shall be liable to contribute to the maintenance of others if he or she has obtained a share or part, the value of which is or would, if the liability to contribute were enforced, became less than what would be awarded to him or her by way of maintenance under this act. So it says that that person who is himself a dependent will not contribute to that dependent who hasn't received the property if that dependent hasn't received the property and he is not able to maintain himself to that extent, and the property share has been received by him is very less, then in that case he will not give his share. Now section 23 says amount to of maintenance. So it will be the court who will decide the amount of the maintenance, and before deciding he will or the court will look into subsection 3 2 and 3. Subsection 2 says that in determining the amount of maintenance, if any, to be awarded to a wife, children or aged or infirm parents under this act, regard shall be had to. So subsection 3 has been combined with wife, children and aged parents. So what are the things that the court will look before providing the maintenance to wife, children or aged parents? That is the position and the status of the parties, and the reasonable wants of the claimant. If the claimant is living separately, where the claimant is justified in doing so, and the value of the claimant's property and any income derived from such property, or from the claimant's own earning or from any other source. So these are the 4 points that court will consider before giving maintenance to children, wife or aged person. First is that status of the party. The court will look the status of the party and the reasonable want. What are the wants of the claimants? According to the wants, the maintenance will be given, not less, not less and not more. So, and what are the claimants? If the claimant is living separately, then he or she has been justified that reason or not, and the value of the claimant's property or any income that has been derived from that property or his own earning, that will also be seen by the court. Now clause 3 means subsection 3 says that what are the points that court will look before giving maintenance to the dependent. So first is the net value of the estate of the deceased after providing for the payment of his debt. Means that after providing the debt, if any, then on that deceased person, then what is the net value remaining. Second is that the provision, if any, made under a will of the deceased in respect of the dependent. Third is the degree of relationship between the two, that means deceased and the dependent, and the reasonable want of the dependent. What are the reasonable want? And the past relationship between the dependent and the deceased, the value of the property of the dependent and any income derived from such property or from his or her earning from any other source. This point is similar to above. The number of dependent entitled to maintain under this act. So these are the points in the case of dependent. And now section 24 says claim to maintenance should be a Hindu. So no person should be of any other religion, and the claimant who is claiming the maintenance should be of Hindu religion. The Bare Act also says that no person shall be entitled to claim maintenance under this chapter if he or she has ceased to be a Hindu by conversion to another religion, and if he has ceased, then also he cannot claim maintenance. Section 25 says that amount of maintenance may be altered on change of circumstances. So Bare Act says that the amount of maintenance whether fixed by a decree of court or by agreement either before or after the commencement of this act may be altered subsequently if there is a material change in the circumstances justifying such alteration. So the change should be material, like for example, if the court has said that a person will get 2 lakh maintenance from her father, but after that the father gained the lottery of 10 lakh, then that person will claim that now the lottery has been achieved by the father, now I want more maintenance. Then if the court will be satisfied, then the court can change the amount of maintenance anytime. Now section 26 states debt to have priority. It is clear from the heading that if there is any debt on the deceased person, then that debt will be fulfilled first, then the share of the property will be given to any dependent. Let's read the Bare Act. So it says, subject to the provision contained in section 27, debt of every description contracted or payable by the deceased shall have priority over the claim of his dependent for maintenance under this act. So it says that contained in section 27. So let's come to section 27. It says maintenance when to be a charge. A dependent's claim of maintenance under this act shall not be a charge on the estate of the deceased or any portion thereof, unless one has been created by the will of the deceased, by a decree of a court, by agreement between the dependent and the owner of the estate or portion, or otherwise. It means that a dependent cannot claim a charge on any property. मतलब खुद से कोई चार्ज नहीं होगा, अगर किसी विल के द्वारा अगर उस डिसीड पर्सन ने चार्ज दिया है तभी उसका चार्ज होगा. और सेक्शन 26 में कहा गया कि डेट को पहले प्रायोरिटी दी जाएगी, लेकिन अगर चार्ज हमने अगर उस डिसीड पर्सन ने चार्ज अपने किसी एक डिपेंडेंट को दे रखा है, तो वो डिपेंडेंट डिसाइड करेगा कि डेट पहले पे किया जाए कि नहीं किया जाए. क्लियर. नाउ सेक्शन 28 सेज दैट इफेक्ट ऑफ ट्रांसफ़र ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी ऑन राइट ऑफ मेंटेनेंस. सो अगर प्रॉपर्टी ट्रांसफ़र हो गई तो राइट ऑफ मेंटेनेंस पे क्या इफेक्ट आएगा. तो बेयर एक्ट कहती है वेयर अ डिपेंडेंट हैज़ अ राइट टू रिसीव मेंटेनेंस आउट ऑफ एन एस्टेट एंड सच एस्टेट और एनी पार्ट ऑफ देयर ऑफ is transferred to right to receive maintenance may be enforced against the transferee if the transferee has notice of the right, or if the transferee is gratuitous but not against the transferee for consideration and without notice of the right. तो it says that अगर किसी डिपेंडेंट का राइट है प्रॉपर्टी पे और वो प्रॉपर्टी डिसीड पर्सन ने ट्रांसफ़र कर दी किसी और को, तो जो राइट है डिपेंडेंट ट्रांसफरी से ले सकता है जब तक ट्रांसफरी को पता था कि इसलिए की गई है क्योंकि डिपेंडेंट का राइट है, इसलिए उस डिसीड पर्सन ने मुझे ट्रांसफ़र करी है, तब भी डिपेंडेंट जो है वो ट्रांसफरी से सीधा क्लेम कर सकता है. और अगर ट्रांसफरी ने कोई वो नहीं दिया है, कंसिडरेशन नहीं दिया है उस प्रॉपर्टी का, तब भी वो क्लेम कर सकता है डिपेंडेंट उससे. और अगर ट्रांसफरी के नोटिस में ही नहीं थी ये चीज़ और उसने कंसिडरेशन दे दिया है, जैसे प्रॉपर्टी लेके पैसे दे दिए हैं, उसके बिल्कुल नोटिस में नहीं थी कि किसी का राइट भी है इस प्रॉपर्टी पे, तो उस केस में डिपेंडेंट बिल्कुल भी क्लेम नहीं कर सकता कुछ. नाउ सेक्शन 29 हैज़ बीन रिपेल, तो हमको पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. सेक्शन 30 इज़ लास्ट एंड इट सेज सेविंग्स. Nothing contained in this act shall affect any adoption made before the commencement of this act, and the validity and effect of any such adoption shall be determined as if this act has not been passed. इसका मतलब है कि कोई भी अडॉप्शन अगर इस एक्ट से पहले हुआ है तो उस एडॉप्शन पे ये वाली जो एक्ट है वो हावी नहीं होगी, और वो उस एडॉप्शन की वैलिडिटी वैसे ही देखी जाएगी कि हम कोर्ट कंसिडर करेगा कि ये एक्ट उस वक्त नहीं थी, तो उसी हिसाब से उस एडॉप्शन को देखा जाएगा. तो दैट्स इट फॉर दी वीडियो, एंड आई हैव क्लियर्ड द एडॉप्शन एंड मेंटेनेंस, सो यू कैन वॉच ऑल द videos that are 4 in number, and you can clear your doubts in comment section, and keep liking, keep sharing and subscribe to our channel.